Hey, how are you? How are you doing?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Today is February 5th, 2020. My name is Alfred Romero, and we're here today to talk about the Newberry Soil Collection. And I'm here today with
Amil DuPree.
Can you please spell your name, sir?
Amil. Amil DuPree. DUPREE.
All right. Thank you very much. So today, Amil, what is something? Why are you here today? How can you reflect about today? What does it mean to you being here today?
So I'm here to collect the soil from each of the jars. That's why I am here.
What does it mean to you being here?
What I mean being here.
To you, what does this event mean to you?
The event is Black History Month in February. Black History.
Okay. Is there any reflections or comments that you would like to tell the community members?
Any reflections?
Something that you want to tell the people to learn about the event, take away from the event?
That I remember the people's names in Newberry in jars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, any other comments?
No.
Okay. Well, I think that will conclude our presentation today, our
I'm
interview.
going to put the soil in each of the jars. The soil.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. They are going to put the soil inside.
That's good.
Yeah. It's raining, but they will do it shortly in a little while, in a little bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for having this interview with us today, okay?
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right, my name is Adolfo Romero. Today is February 5th, 2021, and today we're here to talk about the Newberry Soil Collection and Ceremony, and today I'm with
Kyle New.
Kyle New. Okay, Kyle New, can you spell your last name, please?
Yes, sir. N-E-W.
N-E-W, perfect. Kyle, can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to come in today?
Yeah, last year, the mayor of Newberry, Jordan Marlowe, started a Truth and Reconciliation series. And so we're the official media company working on all of this. And we got to be a part of it last year, the event that they held at City Hall. And just being a part of the event, live streaming it and filming it, it was really powerful and impacted us. So we wanted to continue to be a part of it.
Okay, what does the event coming here, what does it make you feel? It seems like you've been here for the past couple years now, so what have you been able to understand and get away from it?
Just kind of learning the history. It was something that I was completely unaware of. You know, I think there's a lot of things that aren't addressed, and so I think it's really cool that the community can come together and talk about these kind of things and have a better understanding and start the healing process.
Okay, from compared to last year, do you see more people, less people, or what would you say is?
It's raining pretty good right now, and there's more people here than there were last year, so it's cool to see. There's a lot of media out here, so I'm glad to see it's getting the attention it deserves.
All right, well, thank you very much. Do you have any last reflections that you would like to tell the community or friends out there?
Yeah, there will be a live stream of it. I know there's a lot of documentary series coming out. I know the University of Florida is working on one right now, so I just encourage anybody who's interested in learning. There's now resources to find information. So,
well, thank you very much, Kyle. That concludes today's interview.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, my name is Adolfo Romero. Today is February 5th, 2020, and I'm here with the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program. And today we're here to commemorate the Newberry Soil Collection. And here I have the pleasure to be with
Janis Owens.
Can you please spell your name and last name, please?
It's Janis, Janis, Owens, Owens.
Okay, so Janis, quick question. So, what are some reflections about the event that you have that's today? What are some of your personal reflections?
It is in a way melancholy, sad. Laying in bed last night, I was sad because we've worked for so long to do this, and I wish that when we did this, it would bring back the people who died 100 years ago. But you know, the dead will remain dead, but we can honor them, and we want to bring justice to their memory and to honor them. They were farmers in our community, and they were families, and they were a family in our community. So, you know, it's 106 years late, but I'm glad that it's happening now.
Okay, how do you think truth telling of the Newberry lynching is important?
I believe because there's a whole whitewashed hidden history in the state of Florida, in the United States, in America, in the South, but particularly in the Big Bend of Florida. And our generation, I'm 60 years old, we were children in Jim Crow, and we grew up hearing the stories from people who were first source witnesses. And if we don't take action to say, the real history will not be told, and it's our obligation to tell the truth about our neighbors and what happened to them.
Exactly. Is there anyone in your immediate community, friends, neighbors, relatives, that was aware of the event? And if so, how did that affect them, or how did they speak about it? Did they speak about the event?
People who were descendants who moved away usually are a little more open, but at the time there was an oath of secrecy that generation really held strongly, so they wouldn't speak. Casually, I have had friends talk about, yes, my grandfather was there, and usually right now I don't see a lot of the descendants of the lynch mob here today, but we have a few of them who have come out and admitted. It's just, we're hoping this brings a freedom of speech. When we talk, more people will be able to talk.
Well, fantastic. Are there any last remarks that you would like to leave with to tell the community about the event, or maybe for the next future generations?
That remembering is important, and it's not we're not responsible for what my ancestor did 100 years ago. My responsibility is to tell the truth.
Now I'm eating, and I know.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time with us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, ready? Okay, my name's Alfred Romero. Today is February 5th, 2020. I'm here with the Simon Proctor Oral History Program, and today we're here to do a remembrance and commemoration for the Soil Collection project. Could you please tell me your name, please?
Jordan Marlowe, Jordan. Marlowe is Marlowe.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor Marlowe. Could you please tell me a little bit about the event and what it means to you?
Well, this soil ceremony was a partnership between the City of Newberry, the Alachua County Remembrance Project, EJI, the Real Rosewood Foundation, and the concerned citizens of Newberry. And so this event for me truly symbolizes unity. It symbolizes a whole lot of organizations and people coming together to honor and to recognize the injustices that happened in our past, that happened right here in our community, not some far off state, not some far off place. These are our friends, these are our neighbors, these are families in our communities. So today it was about putting our arms around everybody and saying we're all here, we all have a voice, we all have value, and we need to recognize that value and come together.
Okay, is this an event or something that the community, do they speak about? Have they spoken about before, or is it something that everybody's quiet about? Or
the Newberry lynchings has been something that this community has been rather quiet about over the past 100 years. About 3 years ago, we decided as a community to change that. We decided we were no longer going to keep this story in the shadows, that we were going to tell it, we were going to be honest about it, we were going to let the families of the victims know that it happened, and we admit that it happened, and we apologize that it happened, it was wrong, and it's time for us to come together and no longer try to keep it a secret. Let's acknowledge these things happened so that we can have an honest conversation and work towards healing.
Are there any future programs that you feel or something that could happen similar to this in other parts of Alachua?
There are. This is a county-wide effort. So the city of Newberry may be first, but we're certainly not going to be the last. I think the city of Gainesville has a soil ceremony planned on February 20th. The next event for the city of Newberry is hopefully in partnership with the Equal Justice Institute to put a historical marker here in the city of Newberry that commemorates and acknowledges the victims of the Newberry lynchings.
What is one message that you would like to send out to the community?
I think the message from this is that when we come together, beautiful things happen. When we keep secrets, when we hide, when we lie, bad things happen. We need to be honest with each other, and I want everyone in Newberry, I want everyone in Alachua County, I want everyone in the state, I want everyone in the country to know that today was a beautiful day of healing, and this is what we need more of in this country.
All right, just one last question. At the end, could you give me maybe some personal reflections about the event? Do you know any specific people that know about the event that you've talked to, or maybe share one of those stories or something personal dealing with the event?
Well, you know, I think that the most impactful story for me is Gwendolyn Hunt, whose land that we stand on now. We here in Newberry call her Mama Hunt. And to see the tears in her eyes, to see the closure, to see how much this meant to her, that means the world to me.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. If there are no other reflections or comments, this will conclude the interview.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you
guys
for your time.
Absolutely.
Ready? Okay. Sorry about that. My name is Adolfo Romero. Today is February 5th, 2021, and I'm here with the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program, and today I'm with
Charles Chestnut IV. I'm known as Chuck Chestnut,
right.
County Commissioner.
All right, County Commissioner, Mr. Chestnut. Mr. Chestnut, a couple questions I have for you today. How do you think truth-telling of the Newberry lynching is important?
It is very important. Alachua County started the Truth and Reconciliation process, so this is one of those events that will hopefully bring the reconciliation and speak about the truth in terms of what happened of the Newberry Six, and to educate the community on it, and to begin to heal and become a community as one. And so that's the purpose of us starting the Truth and Reconciliation process. This is a historical event. This is the first actual soil collection for Alachua County. We will have many more because Alachua County was ranked very high in lynchings per capita in the state and nationally. So that's one of the sites that the Newberry Six happened, and today we'll collect the soil of those individuals and give honor to them in terms of the life they lived and the circumstances they died under.
All right, second question. Is there anyone in your immediate community, friends, neighbors, relatives, that was aware of the event? If so, how did it affect them, or how have they speak about it in the community? How do they speak about this event?
It's a painful event for most folks, and so the Alachua County, in terms of a group of citizens, is called the Remembrance Project Committee, which Mayor Marlowe is a part of. A group of citizens from the county is involved of it, and so we also try to bring the trauma that's occurred and those people who have those type of feelings. And so at most of the events that we will have a counselor here to help those individuals during that time to understand and how to cope. And every meeting we meet once a month. We take a moment of silence in terms of grief and stuff like that for folks before we start talking about the issues and the ceremonies that we're planning. So it's really painful to a lot of people, and I think it's just educating them and letting them know what occurred so it doesn't happen again. And I think that that's the most important part, and to begin to heal and move forward as a community.
Thank you very much. One final question. Would you agree with Brian Stevenson's remarks? The public narrative a nation creates about what is important is reflected in memorial and monuments. To its honor, what is remembered, what is memorized, tells a story about society that can be reflected in other ways.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Yes, I think it's truthful. And when you speak the truth, you begin to understand and others will begin to understand. And then when you speak the truth, then you can be able to heal or have that reconciliation. Because without truth, you can't have reconciliation. So you have to speak the truth to get reconciliation. So yes, I agree with that statement.
Okay. Any final reflections before we finish that you would like to tell the community?
No, not really. You know, I just wish that we had more people and the rain would go away.
I know.
You know,
All right.
so, but other than that, but thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chestnut.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. All right.
Have a great day. All right, my name is Alfred Romero. Today is February 5th, 2021, and today we're here to commemorate the Newberry Soil Collection, and I'm here today with
Gwendolyn Hunt.
will you please spell your name?
Gwendolyn.
All right. Well, pleasure to meet you. First question I would like to ask to you, what does this event mean to you?
Well, it's showing that the history is not dead. It's still alive, and they want to put it away that people know it did happen here. I wasn't here, but I was told as I bought the property, my husband and I bought the property, and we learned of this after we moved in to this land.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've been taking care of the land and what's been going on? Maybe a little bit of the history of it.
Well, I've been trying to try to keep it clean. May not be the best, but the best that I can. And the history that I know that for Miss Mary, when I moved in, which we bought it from Miss Garden, she told me that this is where the last family was put away here. I don't know the proper way to say it, but anyway, they claim this is a tree. I don't know. I can't say 100%. But some of the universities have checked the roundness of it, or the measurements of it, and they say it's a very old tree. And also, Miss Mary had told me, she said, you go back and look for a stone. And wherever the stone is, that was where they lynched the last people. And I didn't find it. So one day we was cutting, my boy and I was cutting the field, and we run across this bump. And when we did, there's the stone right over here, right over there. That was where I guess they made their, whatever they made to do these things. So that's all I can say, that it was done. And when I first moved out here, it was Lynch Hammock. That was the name of it. And they changed it after they built the homes over here. They changed it to Oak Hammock. And this same land, when we moved here, they had corn planted out here. And the lady got sick, and her sister came and got her. And that's the last of it. It's just touching, you know. Every time I'm mowing, my son mowing, it comes back to you. And on people don't believe this, and I don't make people believe me, but on full moons, it's very, very, very light out here. Very light. I invite people to come out and look at it. It's just like a daylight, you know, and I just come out and pray, you know. But it was done. There's no need of looking over it. It was done in this area. And they want to say it's somewhere in this property, or either the property next door. We don't know, because all this was grown up in trees and woods and stuff, and they had their path, I guess, to come in and do what they had to do. So I just appreciate that they're gonna get some of the soil and take it back and put it where they claim, say they was gonna put it, because it happened. There's no need of hiding history. This is history, and I appreciate the ones come out to try to see that this be put to rest. And I also, I also knew Mr. Murray. He worked for the John Deere place when I moved out here. A nice, humble man. And it's a very warm feeling that you get. Even now I'm warm, like, you can feel the spirits. I don't care what people say, it's a different out here. And I ask these people to come out and just see for themselves. And I just appreciate what they're doing.
Did your family, by any chance, were they close related to any of the part of the event, or anyone in specific that they know that from the event?
I don't understand what you're saying.
With everything that happened in here, does your family know the victims? And
I happen to know Mr. Murray,
okay, so
last wife, and they live not too far from me. His first part of his home is still there, but the young man had built a beautiful part on the bay. So I know, I knew Miss Murray's wife.
Okay.
You know, doing the last part of it, if I'm saying it right.
Okay. Is there any last reflections or advice that you would like to give to the community about the event, or just about what it signifies to the community?
That we're living in a world now that we don't have to go through those things anymore. And my advice to everybody, love one another as Christ have loved us. That's what it's all about, is love. You're never too old, you're never too young, you're never too poor. It to stop from taking the simple word, L-O-V-E. And that's what it's all about. Because people look over you, they think you're not good enough, and you're not up to date enough, but it's not about that. It's about love one another as Christ have loved us. That's my advice to my community. And I love my community. We get along beautiful here. And I just thank God for them. Wave at them, they blow at me when I'm in the yard and all that. I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate the time for being here today, and I just want to give you my respect and my, it's very difficult coming out here today and kind of remembering the tragic moments, but it's something that we have to all take in and kind of like reconciliate with that, with the past, and make peace with it and move on, but together.
Go forward, don't look back.
Exactly.
Don't look back, because when you look back, that's when you go to a grain of salt. But if we look forward, because there's nothing we can do about that behind us. So let's go forward and love one another. That's my greatest thing, regardless how you're treated, how people do you. Don't forget about love. You love them anyway. Love without all that bad grass. And if after a while, if you plant that seed will pop up. If you keep watching it, it'll pop up. That means you're strong and you're going to survive.
Wow, beautiful words and so inspiring. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, you ready? Hello, my name is Alfred Romero. Today is February 5th, 2020, and I'm here with the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program, and I'm here today with
Pastor Lewis W. King.
Pastor Lewis W. King, and my name is Adolfo Romero. And today I want to ask you, Pastor Lewis, what inspired you to attend today? Why are you here today?
Well, after listening to such an inspired presentation that was done a few months ago by Dr. Nunn, I learned a whole lot more than what I had been told as growing up as a young boy. And so then I found out that some of the people that was hanged was related to us. And so I was compelled to come and be a support, and hopefully some restoration and forgiveness can be done through this meeting.
Okay. How do you think truth-telling of the Newberry lynching is important?
Well, I think it's important for history to know how Newberry used to be versus what it is now, the changes that has been made by the majority of the people that live here in Newberry.
Okay. Is there anyone in your immediate community, friends, neighbors, relatives, that was aware of the event? And if so, how did that affect them, and do they speak about this event?
Well, it's kind of like when we were growing up, the older citizens used to tell us about it, but they didn't want us to talk about it. And so some of the older people now still have the same mentality. You can tell them about it, and they hear about it, but they don't really want to talk about it. The younger ones are a little bit different.
Okay, the public, would you agree with Brian Stevenson's remarks? The public narrative a nation creates about what is important is reflected in memorials and monuments. Who is honored, what is remembered, what is memorized, tell a story about society that can reflect in other ways?
Yes, definitely. I got a younger grandson, and I tell him as much as I know about the history of Newberry, how it used to be when I was growing up versus how it is now, because he actually thinks that the way things is now, that's the way it was when I was growing up, and I have to let him know that that wasn't the way it was, and tell him a lot of things that we went through versus how we paved the way for them.
All right, Pastor Lewis, last question. What is one thing that you would want to tell the people about the event, or just overall? What are some advice, or what would you like to tell them as a final advice?
Well, I would like to tell them, if they came to the event, that they would learn about the history of Newberry. It's kind of like, once they learn about the history of Newberry, they can pass it on and tell other generations.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Pastor Lewis, and we appreciate you talking with us today.
All right, yeah, thank you.